They never told you this. But the battlefield of your entire life is not out there, it's in here, inside your mind. And the moment you forget that, you become a puppet, controlled by fear, by others' opinions, by noise, by systems designed to keep you small. The greatest war you'll ever fight is not in the streets, not in politics, not in markets, but between the ears, in the silence between your thoughts, where the future is either born or buried. Understand this. Your mind is the architect of your reality. What you allow to grow in it, you will eventually live. What you believe, you will build. What you fear, you will invite. Every empire was built by a man or woman who first ruled over their mind. Before steel met stone, before hands went to work, there was a blueprint of vision drafted in the imagination. Before the world saw the light bulb, Edison saw it in his mind 1,000 times, failing not in reality but in thought, over and over again, until the picture became permanent. Lincoln stood alone in the shadow of a broken nation, but he never surrendered to fear, because in the darkest chambers of his mind he had decided who he was, and he ruled that mental throne with unshakable conviction. Do you understand the power that sits within you, or have you surrendered it to social media, to comparison, to worry, to comfort, to distractions, to the expectations of people who don't even know your purpose? You were not born to be controlled. You were born to command, not others, yourself, not the world, your response to it, not luck, but mindset. And until you master that mind, every dream, every goal, every vision will remain locked behind the very bars you forged in thought. Let's begin at the source. Mindset isn't just a motivational word. It's the operating system of your existence. And just like a computer, if your software is corrupted, you'll crash. No matter how powerful the hardware, your mindset determines how you interpret failure. Do you see it as proof that you're unworthy, or as feedback that you're learning? Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Simple, direct, but it's everything. Every day your brain gives you two options, react or command. React with fear, doubt, and limitation, or command with belief, strategy, and action. Which one wins? The one you feed. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your mental programming. So ask yourself, what have you installed in your mind? Excuses or execution? Distraction or discipline? Envy or empowerment? You see, we live in a world that teaches us how to get likes, but not how to like ourselves. We're trained to chase approval, not mastery. We're told to fit in instead of stand out. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit every breakthrough in human history was triggered by a mind that dared to believe it could break the rules, to think higher, to imagine bigger, to believe beyond evidence. That kind of belief, unshakable, unreasonable belief, is not luck. It's a discipline. It's a decision. Your beliefs shape your vision, and your vision shapes your life. You'll never build what you cannot clearly see, and you'll never see it if you don't first believe it's possible. Andrew Carnegie, the Titan of Steel, once stood in front of a young man named Napoleon Hill and gave him the greatest secret of wealth. Control your mind, direct it, discipline it, and it will give you anything you command. Not wish for, not hope for, command. But here's what most people miss. You can't command a mind that's confused. Clarity is power. When your mind is foggy, so is your future. When your thoughts are scattered, so is your success. You need to know what you want. You need to be specific, vivid, obsessively clear. Not, I want to be successful. What does that look like? Not, I want to be rich. How much? Why? By when? Success respects precision. Vague goals get vague results. Disney envisioned a world no one else saw. Castles, music, joy. He believed in it when bankers laughed in his face, when critics called him delusional. But he held the vision with the force of 1,000 suns, and the world eventually bent to his belief. That's what clarity does. It magnetizes action. It makes failure irrelevant because the picture is too real to abandon. Once belief is born, you must ignite it with purpose. Why are you really doing this? Not for money, not for fame. Those things vanish. Purpose is deeper. Purpose is what keeps you moving when no one's watching. It's the flame that burns even in the coldest winter. And discipline is the forge. It's what takes the fire of your purpose and turns it into unbreakable steel. Most people want results. Few want repetition. But the mind doesn't change by motivation. It changes by ritual. Repetition creates mastery. Mastery creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. And momentum, that's how mountains move. Steve Jobs wasn't disciplined because it was trendy. He was possessed by the mission. He was obsessed with the details. He didn't wait for the world's approval. He created a world where his vision became the standard. That level of commitment is not reserved for the chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to rule their mind. You can dream all day. You can fill journals with vision boards, write affirmations on your mirror, recite mantras with perfect posture, but until you act, you are just another prisoner of potential. Action is the bridge. It's the only language the universe understands. You think the world rewards thoughts? It doesn't. It rewards execution. Relentless, consistent, often quiet, often unseen execution. The greats didn't talk their way to legacy. They walked it. Walt Disney was fired for lacking creativity. Thomas Edison was told he was too stupid to learn anything. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. They could have accepted the words, the judgment, the rejection, but they acted anyway, because somewhere deep inside they understood this. If you want the mind to obey you, you have to lead it with courage, not comfort. Your brain will scream for safety. Your body will crave ease. But your spirit, it was not made for stagnation. You were made to move, to build, to create the future, even if it's slow, even if it's scary, even if no one claps, even if the only person who believes in you, because that one person armed with action is more powerful than 1,000 spectators. So take the step, not because you're ready, but because you're willing. But let me remind you of something often forgotten in the noise of ambition. Gratitude is not weakness. It's not passivity. It is power. Gratitude doesn't mean settling. It means anchoring. It's what keeps your spirit alive when results don't show. When you're climbing a mountain, you don't curse every step. You bless it, because each one brings you closer to the summit. Your mind can either see what's missing or what's already working. That choice every day, every moment, determines how high you rise. A mind poisoned by entitlement becomes bitter, resentful, impatient. A mind fed by gratitude becomes resilient, joyful, undefeatable. Gratitude trains your focus, and what you focus on expands. So thank the struggle, thank the delay, thank the silence, thank the doubt. It is sculpting you. It is training your mind to hold more strength than the average can ever comprehend. Now listen, the world is changing. Fast, unforgiving, brutal, and if your mind is rigid, you will break. Adaptability is not optional. It is survival. The mind must be fluid like water. Bruce Lee knew this. Be water, my friend. Why? Because water adapts. It finds a way. It cuts through rock, not with force, but with persistence. When the plan fails, do not collapse. Adjust. When the door closes, do not retreat. Create a new path. The modern world is filled with mental traps, algorithms that hijack your dopamine, news cycles that engineer fear, society that glorifies ease and shames effort. If you do not evolve mentally, if you do not protect your inner software, you will be updated by the world with someone else's code. You must choose, be the programmer of your life, or live as someone else's user. There will be days that break you, people that betray you, dreams that slip through your fingers. That's not a maybe, that's a promise. But your power is not in preventing storms. It's in becoming the kind of person who cannot be drowned. Resilience is not toughness. It's not pretending. It's not faking positivity. It's the calm decision. I will not stop, no matter what. Every legend you admire was forged in fire. Every success story written in scars. Nelson Mandela survived 27 years in a prison cell and came out not bitter, but bigger. He said, I never lose. I either win or I learn. Let that sink in. Pain is not your enemy. It is your professor. And resilience is the degree you earn when you refuse to quit class. Your mind is starving, not for food, for growth. And if you don't feed it, it will consume garbage, gossip, negativity, comfort, entertainment. Every day, you're either sharpening your sword or letting it rust. Read, study, question, listen. Not for school, for life. Success doesn't come to those who know it all. It comes to those humble enough to remain students. Einstein said, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." That humility is strength. Because when your mind is open, you don't just grow, you evolve. And when you evolve, you leave behind everyone who stayed still. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is learn, then do, then reflect, then repeat. Make your mind a weapon, sharp, precise, unstoppable. So now we arrive at the question, who is sitting on the throne of your mind? Is it fear? Is it comfort? Is it comparison? Is it your past? Is it someone else's voice whispering lies you never questioned? Or is it you, the real you, the disciplined you, the hungry you, the fearless you? Because make no mistake, you were born to reign. But you can only rule the world once you've conquered yourself. Not by shouting, not by proving, but by mastering your thoughts, your habits, your focus, your identity. The world outside will mirror the world within. If your mind is chaotic, so will be your life. If your mind is ordered, so will be your path. It all begins with a decision, not a feeling, not a mood, a decision. To no longer be ruled, to take back your power, to stop waiting for permission. Your mind is not your enemy, it is your kingdom. And kingdoms are not built by chance. They are built by choice and ruled by discipline. So stand up, take the crown, and command your mind, or die being controlled by it. Because in the end, the mind is everything. Control it or be controlled.